Hello again for another episode of Bodied, a Cloud9 fancast. I'm your host, Havokpus, and I'm joined by my co-host, Frozencreek, for another weekly episode. How's it going?
Hey, it's going good. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing all right. I've just been hanging out and whatnot. You know,
Good.
nothing too big going on, to be honest.
Yeah. Just some house cleaning stuff. This week I went on a Live Evil pod. So if you want to hear us talk about the regular season playoff predictions, a day at the LCS pool party and stuff like that, you can check it out at Live Evil pod on Twitter. I've retweeted it a couple times. It's also on Spotify, I guess. So if you're looking for some more stuff to listen to, I would check that out.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was fun. It seems like everyone was really down on Fudge this year. So
I think to be fair, I guess I could maybe kind of see it just since he was having to do the whole role swap thing, and then he's coming back, and I don't think Fudge has played bad, but I don't know. I guess maybe he could be playing better. I don't know.
I feel like he's been our most consistent player.
No, for sure. I think he.
I don't think he's had like a bad game.
No, yeah.
So I don't know. Even the dive was kind of talking shit about him, like, oh yeah, those bad games. I'm like, what bad games? There were games that the team as a whole lost, but it wasn't off him. So I don't know. I guess there's this misconception that Fudge sucks now.
I guess.
Completely unwarranted.
Well, before we talk about a bunch of league stuff, we have some housekeeping to do. For Smash, Mango defeated Hungrybox to win the Super Smash Con and is now the 3-time champion of the event, which is honestly pretty exciting, all things considered.
Yeah. Every time Mango wins an event, it just feels different. The whole crowd always loves to see him succeed. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Like, whenever Mango wins, it's like a much more hype thing than like when anyone else wins.
Yeah, I know, and it hasn't been quite as frequently lately, but yeah, it's still a great event overall. I think this is their first one that has been held in a few years too. So, yeah, a big win for him.
Yeah. Plus he got to beat Hungrybox, which is like he always like. That's like one of his rivals, I guess. So it's super good to see him beat Hungrybox.
Yeah, it seems like it's very far in. It seems very rare that he actually beats HBox, but if he does, it's always in like a Game 5 final.
Yeah. That's definitely how it feels like.
Yeah, so it's always super duper hype.
Well, good to see that he won. We do have some CSGO news. I wasn't able to watch the games. I don't even think they really announced that they were going on. But Cloud9 Academy was playing in like some kind of tournament. They beat Poco DeZambo. That's such a weird name. And Oral-B, like the toothpaste brand Oral-B. Like Oral-B.
I have no clue what's happening.
I don't even know.
I'm not even sure if this is like 100% correct.
Either. And I'm just reading what you've written down. And then they lost to Raikiri. I'm not sure what event this even was and like who they were playing against. But they did some CS going. And hopefully the team will continue to play well, I guess.
Yeah, they killed some guys, got some guys killed.
Yeah, they did some stuff. They did some things.
Yeah, hopefully they can find a better audience in the future, because I would like to watch. I'm not even sure if they really tweeted about it, but I'm sure it had to have been on Twitch. I mean, why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, exactly.
So Yeah. The actual CS:GO roster finally announced their next date. I think it was September 21st or something like that.
Yeah, I believe September 21st is when the next time the team plays. They're in kind of like the player break right now, so everyone's kind of like chilling. But
Yeah.
hopefully we
So
get to see
about a
them.
month.
Yeah. Hopefully we get to see them play kind of soon. I really want to see the team play again. But
Yeah, me too. It feels like it's been a really long time since they won. What was it? IEM
it was yeah they won like an IEM and they went kind of
Dallas.
far. Yeah, it was IEM Dallas, and then I think in the next event they went kind of deep, but then I think they lost. I can't remember where in the tournament they lost.
Yeah. So next month they'll be back. It felt like a really long time. So
Yeah,
it's well.
it did. It has felt like kind of a long time.
So it's well past due.
Yeah. But until then, we can also talk about some Valorant news as the squad fell out of Last Chance Qualifier against 100 Thieves, who ended up winning the whole event. I really don't know how the team is going to continue without making some roster changes, considering, just like considering kind of like how the season as a whole and everything has been going. It kind of feels like there definitely needs to be some kind of like changes in place, like whether it's with the coaching staff or the roster, or probably both. It just seems like they're just not playing as good as when Zeta was on the team, and they're really struggling to like beat other teams that they would have beaten in the past, and they're not as together and they don't feel as consistent. So like I feel like this was kind of the last chance, quote unquote, with at least what we have now.
Yeah, kind of feels like it. Ever since they made those switches, things just haven't really been right. I mean,
It's not like they
they
haven't been playing like super bad. Like they usually beat teams below their skill level, but like any team that's at or above them, they just don't play as well. And I think it's just because you lost to Zeta, who was one of the best Sova players, and you lost to Autumn, who was a really, really good coach. And so now you're having to play with Curry and whoever we have now. I'm not sure who's our head coach and like who all his assistant coaches and whatnot. But we're just playing with people that aren't as good, and it just feels really off because I think the team with Zeta, we were really good, and I'm not sure if like he was actually lifting a bunch of our other players up or what, but it really just doesn't feel the same ever since he left.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was time for him. So it probably is time to make a change or two. I mean, to be fair, they did lose to the two finalists of
It's
the
true. Like
event.
it's hard to really gauge if like how much you need to correct on a roster when it's like, well, we lost to the championship team. I'm not sure if you can really blame us for that.
But
But
yeah, yeah,
it has been kind of a trend though, where we are kind of struggling in a lot more games than we have been like before Zeta left.
oh yeah, that's undoubted for sure. So it is time. Oh, whether they might have been hindered by the fact it was like a season change, maybe.
That could definitely have been it because you're having to like restructure a lot of what you do like out the gate because it's like you're playing and stuff when you really could like use the player break for that when there's not a lot going on. But instead
Yeah,
you're having to do it
whole
that way.
tryouts and practice and stuff.
Yeah, like you're kind of you can't do as much for synergy and whatnot.
Yeah, well, we do have a player break now, don't we? For a while.
I think so, yeah, now that our guys are kind of gone.
Yeah, less yeah to a glorified a glorified clothing company.
Lost to a clothing brand. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, with that, we can probably move on to the Academy and League of Legends stuff.
Yeah, so the Academy team had a really big game last night. They were playing against Ginger Turmeric that had Captain Shrimps and Wixie on it, two old Cloud9 amateur players. Overall, it was an entertaining series. Captain Shrimps brought out Zed game one. The Ginger Turmeric top laner brought out Garen in game two and hard carried. And then game three, Copy and King both popped off. They both had a quadra kill during that game, and they ended up winning. And they face Dig Academy in the winners semifinals. So if they win, they go straight to the finals. So they are in really good shape to win the event overall.
Yeah, I think yesterday was like the first time in a bit where like the Twitter account actually made an announcement of like, hey, the Academy team is playing.
Yeah, and it's important. It was the winners quarters.
No, yeah. So but it seems like the team's on like kind of the right track to like they're setting themselves up for a spot to be in the finals, and it looks like everyone's been playing really well from what I've seen and heard. So we'll just kind of have to see what happens. I'm really looking forward to see like what the Academy team can do. I honestly haven't been able to watch a lot of Academy, so I can't really say too much. But it seems like everyone on the team is playing really well, especially like Copy and King and Shaden, who's usually like our kind of our main guys.
Yeah, Copy, King, Shaden. I mean, Darshan's been pretty good. All of them have been playing well, and they're playing like they have every chance to win the whole thing overall. First, they will have to go through Dig Academy, but there's no reason that they can't.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that game will be next week. I haven't seen an announcement for when it is, but still, overall.
Yeah, still overall, that's still pretty good. I think we're in a pretty good spot to like make a deep run. So we'll have to see what goes on next.
Yeah.
We can transition over to the LCS games because we had Super Week and we had 4 matches.
Yeah.
One of which wasn't ideally planned, but
very frustrating.
Yeah.
But we can start off earlier in when life was still fun. We took on Immortals on Friday, the first game of the Super Week. It felt like a routine win to me. Immortals isn't good, and the game just kind of played out in that fashion.
Yeah, there's nothing a whole lot to really talk about from the highlights of the Immortals, and I think even the TSM game. I think I will say those 2 games are exactly how we need to draft and play. I think the team's strengths overall are getting Fudge and Blabber to be the engage tanks and putting Jensen on a control mage. If you do all of those 3 things, the team looks so much better than when you are doing it like you have been kind of in previous weeks where you're like giving Fudge like a squishier top laner and Blabber's on something that doesn't really have any engage, and you're putting on Jensen on something weird, or you're limiting your engages, because it feels a lot better when Blabber is the one calling the engages than I think someone else. Because once he goes in, everyone follows up, and I think like he kind of has more of the instinct to know when to exactly like start fights and go in and everything like that.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think that at least in the TSM game, they had an easily executed engage and team fight, and I think that's something that was different than Sunday, where they kind of got outdrafted in that regard against Devi and Ari, who could just like hard target one person.
Yeah, the draft against EG was I think it was honestly just those last 2 rounds of the pick ban, because I think EG locked in Vi and whoever else like in their last 2 picks, and that really just completely messed with what we were wanting to do. And I don't think we expected the Vi and the Orin to come in, so I think that we were having to kind of like pivot hard on that and like see what could work. And I think that those 2 picks honestly just messed everything up, because I think if they don't make those 2 picks, we'd be okay. But we just don't have any engaged to peel for Berserker. And I think honestly another thing, I think the game was maybe actually winnable if Jensen did not just stop thinking and just make the same mistake like 3 or 4 times in that game of stepping too far out when Vi can easily just dive on you and stick on you and kill you. He did that like 3 or 4 times in that game, and it was so frustrating to watch, because it's just like watching someone make the same mistake over and over and over again when they know that they shouldn't be making that mistake. So yeah, it's just really frustrating.
And that kind of was his job in a way, but it just felt like there was a huge difference watching Perks play LeBlanc at his peak last year and watching Jensen's play from the other day.
Yeah, no, for sure.
A huge, like a completely different champion almost. But that was also because of the Ari charm, Vi, and the Ornn too. So, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but it really just felt like EG drafted a brain dead comp and played it well, so he didn't stand a chance.
It really feels like, especially right now, like brain dead compositions are just kind of broken, to where you can just kind of just pick these like really kind of broken, these broken comps, and then just be like, yeah, we're just gonna fight here, and then it's easy. And I think that's how kind of the philosophy for drafting should be, at least nowadays. Just draft something that's very easy to execute, because it feels like some teams really do want to do these more difficult to execute comps that, like, on paper they sound really good, but you have to get the conditions right, and it seems like you're leaving too much up to chance with that.
Yeah, and that seems how we draft relatively frequently too. I do like our TSM draft too. The Anivia Poppy combo, stupid OP. In
the Anivia Poppy combo was so broken, and it was because like, and I didn't even see it, like, how it could be broken until they were pointing out like how stupid it was, because you just have like Poppy's just gonna go, like, Anivia just sets up the wall, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna just do fucking the stun.
Yeah, and Olaf, does not stand a chance.
No, yeah, Olaf doesn't stand a chance at all, and it's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of crazy that, like, that combo even, like, it worked, and it was so effective. I think that was like some really big brain drafting there. In Jensen, like, played Anivia really well. He didn't even pop egg like once, from what I remember.
I don't think he did.
No, yeah, so like he was like almost untouchable. It was crazy.
Yeah, so maybe that's something that we can keep in our back pocket for playoffs. Because it makes sense. I mean, and the one thing I didn't like about our EG draft, now that I'm thinking about it, was we were on red side and our counter pick was freaking Sejuani.
Yeah, the Sejuani didn't.
Why not just draft it? second round or something, and save Twitch for last.
Yeah, the Twitch pick early is kind of confusing because I don't like picking like hyper scaling marksman like that like really early on because like it's really easy to counter because you're kind of showing your hand of like, okay, this is how they're going to draft. I'll just, let's just pick we can just do whatever, and then we can build around that and just make sure Twitch doesn't get fed, and that's what kind of happened. I've never been a fan of drafting that way.
Yeah, and it didn't make a ton of sense just because and he's short range too. So like if they draft any engage, like they did, like it's just GG.
Yeah, exactly.
And Berserker didn't particularly play it well. I didn't think, but like
he was having some trouble, but I think I can't blame him too much considering we had no peel and Vi got really fed off of Jensen really early on. So
also fair.
The game was kind of doomed after Vi got like a couple, like 2 to 3 kills really early on.
Yeah. So let's talk about FlyQuest really quick, and then I guess I can share a little bit about LCS this past weekend.
Yeah, I really like the FlyQuest game. I was like, when I saw the draft, I was really nervous because we're not sticking to the drafting strategy that I had mentioned earlier. Where it's like, okay, you get a tank engage for Blabber and Fudge. You put Jensen on the control mage and everything like that. We did have Jensen on a control mage, but we had Fudge on Gwen, which Fudge on Gwen does work. But we have Blabber on Xin Xiao, which isn't necessarily super tanky. And then for bot lane it's Sivir Yumi. So it felt really bad going into a Jarvan Kennen combo because I was really worried that basically what was going to happen was they would just jump on Berserker and kill him instantly, and maybe that's what the Zillion was for. I don't know, but the draft just seemed like very not how we should have drafted for our strengths. It felt really weird, but then like we just kind of ended up winning, and their combo kind of didn't work at all.
Yeah, it kind of does play to our strengths in a way because it seems like our quickest games are buff Blabber and make him run fast, and so it's not like the brain dead thing, but it's Blabber brain kind of into thing. Just play to his strengths and let him carry. The Zillion Yumi is a good combo for him.
Yeah, Zillion Yumi feels really good because he can just go in and kind of not die. Because you have the Zillion revive, and then you have Yumi heals, and Yumi's ultimate's able to like lock people down. So it does feel like a pretty good kind of like give Blabber safety. And plus, like if you get with Sivir ult, you can speed him up to make it to where like he can chase down people like really easily.
Yeah, and they kind of just completely outplayed them too. So
yeah, that was the other thing,
and it was very nice to see that because I was frustrated from the EG game.
Yeah, same here.
But overall, it worked out. We did end up finishing to play against CLG rather than TL. So still 3 wins over the weekend.
Yeah, that does work out. I think with seeding going into CLG, I think it would be much better than going into TL. I think CLG is much more beatable than Team Liquid at least. What are your thoughts on how we kind of scale up?
Yeah, so for this weekend? Yeah, so I'm actually going to be there on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I bought tickets on like Tuesday or Monday.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, so I'm going to be there on Sunday to watch us. The dive favored us, but like I think that we should be not overwhelming favorites, but I think that we are pretty favorited to win, in my opinion. We
No,
have
yeah.
a lot more experience, and I feel like CLG is gonna have a hard time putting 5 creative drafts together to try and beat us that way.
I'm kind of the same. I'm kind of the
They've
same
been
way.
playing. I guess I can say I've been underestimating them all split because I kind of have called them garbage. But if we had our starting roster the whole time, we would be in front of them, I think. So
Yeah, I think I will. I have to give it to CLG. CLG has been playing like very like above expectations this year, which is great. Contracts is looking really, really good, and everyone else seems to be like synergizing in a way that they're playing a lot better than you'd expect them to. I think that we are the favorites, but I think that it's going to be, I'd say, a bit more difficult than. It's going to be a lot tougher than I think people or some analysts would say. It's not going to be like a walk in the park. I think we're going to have to really, I think, dig deep and make sure that we can, get all of our drafting right. Because I think that like our biggest enemies have kind of been ourselves in a sense. We're not beating ourselves due to mainly the opponents we play, but mostly it's just us either making bad mistakes in the game or making drafting errors that are causing us to be at an advantage before the game starts. So I think if we can draft ideally and not make a bunch of mistakes in game, I think that we can totally like beat CLG, and not have to sweat it too much going into the next round of playoffs.
Yeah, I think the big thing is that although we can't have any bad weekends from someone.
No, yeah, we definitely can't afford anyone to be playing like
dog shit.
Suboptimally.
They can play average and get carried, but like they can't come in and play like that O2 weekend a few weeks ago. That was bad. Yeah, and I think we're favored in pretty much every position except maybe bot lane, because our bot lane has still been a little hit or miss in lane. But I think Berserker and Sven through mid game are a better bot lane.
No, yeah, 100%. I think that what they lack in laning, I think they make up for like double that in the team fighting, like mid to late game aspects of things. Like they seem to work like really well together. Honestly, Sven's been playing like a top tier support. Like I haven't really seen him make like a bunch of mistakes, or anything. At least that's how I feel.
Yeah, I don't think he has been playing that bad, at least last weekend.
No, yeah, like I think that at least from what I've seen, like he hasn't really been a factor of, oh, we lost this game or oh, we won this game. Like he hasn't been like contributing to losses. But I think he has been really contributing to our wins. So I think he's been really good at support, and he's been like meshing in that role actually pretty well.
Yeah. I have to imagine he's going to be on Enchanter duty again this weekend, and I hope that he is.
No, yeah, his enchanters are actually really good. Like him playing Lulu and Yuumi, he's been really solid on it.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to try and pull out a Lucian Namami game, because I think their bot lane is exploitable. But
I'm actually not too high on Lucian Nami. I feel like that's a lane that like you have to, if you're not able to take advantage of the combo and win early, it just is kind of average. I'd honestly more prefer if we can get it to do the Kalista Renata combo, because I feel that's a much more potent bot lane duo that has a lot more advantages.
Yeah, that's fair. I do think the Lucian Nami combo is good if you draft a CC jungler like Wukong. He jumps in, alts, turns into a Nami bubble and Nami ultimate, and it's an insta kill every time.
Yeah.
So I saw it a lot in LPL. NA teams aren't that smart though, I guess.
Yeah.
To layer that CC. So I kind of want to see it out of one game and win with it to like completely throw off the rest of the series.
Oh yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, so that would be nice for like a game one idea.
Yeah.
But as long as everyone is dialed in, I think that we should win.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
I feel like CLG is a little overrated. They had 3 games with a starting lineup that we didn't have, and that they only beat us by 1 game, and in the 1 game that they beat us on, they cheesed us. So
Yeah.
I think that we should be stronger overall.
Yeah, I have to agree with you.
What do you think about the TL FlyQuest game?
I think honestly, I think I have to say that TL is probably gonna win. FlyQuest does play really well. Like I think I was like CLG and I think FlyQuest have been the 2 surprise teams that have actually been playing like really well this split. And they've been really fun to watch. So it's not like it's been a bad thing. You know, so I think that ultimately, I think as long as I think FlyQuest can win if they are able to kind of stop Team Liquid from doing what Team Liquid kind of wants to do. Because Team Liquid hasn't been playing like super like up to their like peak, right? They've been kind of like struggling to perform at the top for some games, and I think FlyQuest can exploit that if they're able to kind of get into the right groove.
Yeah. They really need Takui and Jose Diodo to have a big weekend.
Yeah.
TL ran through these past 2 weeks too, so they've been kind of on a high. So Philip cannot get shit on, and the mid jungle duo has to play well, very very well. I honestly think it might just be a 3-0 for TL.
Yeah, I can see that.
So what's your score prediction for our game?
I think it's probably gonna be a 3-0, 3-1. I think C9 is gonna be, since it's a best of 3 or best of 5. They
If
usually
it's a
change
best
it
of 3, it's
sometimes.
news to me, but
Well, regardless, I think that since they're only gonna be having one opponent. I think they'll be able to really prepare, you know. So I think the team will be all right. I think the team should come out with a 3-0 or a 3-1 if they're preparing, for just this singular opponent.
yeah, I think so too. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go to 5 games, but I think it's probably going to be done before then for us. Maybe I'm going to what is it? Eat something to have cake on my face. Is that it?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised, but do you think that this is a world's team?
Our Cloud9 roster.
Yeah.
I think if they're playing at their high, yes. But I think the trouble is them attaining the consistency to get there. I think that's the issue. And I think that's the thing that the team is really that's what they've really been struggling with is getting down their consistency to where, you know, they can go like, okay, you know, we can play this, you know, we can play a couple different ways and not run into issues or anything. But that hasn't really seemed to be the case. It's mostly just been kind of them doing well like one week, and then they'll like have a bad week where they're not drafting and playing properly, and then they'll come back the next week and play like a bit better, and they've just been kind of back and forth. And I think that's really been their biggest issue to really getting to a point where it's like they are a worlds team. But I think if they can get top 3, it's something that they deserve. But they have to like get there.
Yeah, I think so too. I would, if I were to put a number on it, I would not put above 50% chance of us meeting worlds over TL.
Yeah,
I would say TL is favorite over us, but there also is no reason that we can't get hot and win the split. Like sure. We have the potential as a team to beat any other team on any day. Just straight up.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like we can beat any team. I think it's just that we have to be in the right form to do it, and we just haven't been able to really capture that form and keep it consistent.
Yeah, so I think it'll come down to how the team is playing overall, because if they're playing well, there's no reason that they can't beat anyone else. But they've also shown enough stinkers that seeing them lose wouldn't be a big surprise at any point in time.
That's super true.
So so I'm hoping they do well this weekend.
Yeah. Same.
I broke the bad luck curse on Saturday, so third time was a charm. Seeing our boys. I got pictures with the whole team sans Fudge. So I got pictures with Sven, Zerker, and Jensen in one, and then a picture with Blabber, and then a picture with Licorice too.
That's awesome. It would be really cool if you could somehow like end up collecting just like all of the former Cloud9 players. It's like you just get a picture with like you try to get a picture with everyone that's been on C9. So like
I
you need to get one with Kai. You need to get like one with Sven Skaren. You need to get one with like contracts. You need to like track down like a bunch of people. Somehow you're gonna have to find Rush. Rush is gonna be the hardest one because you're gonna have to go to Korea and like find his apartment.
And Summit.
That's right. And Summit.
Okay, so if contracts is in the background of my photo, does that count?
I think, I'm going to count it. I think that counts.
Okay, because he's in the background of my photo with the team.
Yeah. I'm going to count that one. He was in it. You're both of y'all are in the photo. So that's fair.
Do you remember seeing the free solo mid guy on broadcast on Saturday?
I don't think so.
He had a sign and was jumping up and down, and it said free solo mid.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, so he walked by the person I was sitting next to, who was also a Cloud9 fan, and they were talking about Stratus because I guess he was wearing something Stratus. I wasn't familiar, but so he was talking about how after the games he was going to go outside and get a picture with the team and have him sign his picture frame and stuff. So I was like, well, that sounds like a good idea. So I went out and followed him. I was like, hey, what's up? And then we got photos with the team. Cool guy. He might be there on Sunday. He drove in from Arizona because someone on the team from the Stratus Discord gave him free tickets for this weekend.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So yeah, I'm hoping he will be there this weekend too.
Yeah, hopefully so.
But yeah, that was my experience. If you're gonna go to LCS, try and go when there's an event going on. Like this weekend was pool party. Much more
Did you
fun.
wear like a pair of like swim trunks when you went? Just like keep in the theme.
No, I did not know that.
You should have worn
it
swim
was,
trunks.
or so I didn't know that it was a pool party.
Okay, you didn't know it was a pool party. That's fair.
I just showed up. I was like, oh, there's a lot going on, and I'm not sure how everyone knew it was a pool party weekend, but I also saw Jet, Raz, and Azale waiting in line for food. I was gonna talk to Raz, but I felt awkward.
No, yeah, I can imagine that.
But yeah, cool guys. So if we win this weekend, do you know if we win this weekend? Do you know if EG gets to pick who they play, or if we just automatically play them?
I'm not sure. I thought it was that we could I thought it was just an automatic thing. I'm not sure if the higher seeded teams get to choose like who plays who. I'm not. They change the rules every year, so I'm not up to date on like what the rules are.
Yeah, that's true. I'm hoping that we get to not play EG, but also I don't want to play 100 Thieves, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play them either.
All right. Well, so we have our predictions. I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's get out of here so I can get this uploaded before noon Pacific time.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Twitter @C9Bodied, and we'll see you again next time.
Yep. See you guys next week.